Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have another crazy current events video for you guys, and I got a bit of an update about the GTA 6 hacker, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on some of the new stuff that has come out within the last day. But this article is going to be from a Eurogamer, and then I have a second article. I'll also link that down below. But a Grand Theft Auto 6 hacker teen suspect held in youth detention center admits to breaking bail conditions, pleads not guilty to computer misuse. The 17-year-old suspect believed to be behind the recent hack of Grand Theft Auto maker Rockstar Games has pled not guilty to the charge of computer misuse. Computer misuse in this case would probably be the hacking charge. However, the teen did plead guilty to breaching bail conditions, Eurogamer understands. In a statement to Eurogamer this afternoon, the City of London Police Cyber Crimes Unit acknowledged the individual had appeared in court over the weekend and was now being held at a youth detention center. So, I got this article also here from True Achievements, and basically, I wanted to try to find out what this teenager, what kind of bail conditions that he possibly breached, and I found this. The 17-year-old who appeared at Highbury Corner Youth Court on the 24th of September has pleaded guilty to breaching his bail conditions and not guilty to computer misuse. So this basically means that there was conditions that were set when he had gotten bail. Now, this is, according to all the sources that we have so far, this is not the first time that this kid has been in trouble with hacking. He has hacked into Microsoft and apparently also hacked into Uber. So when he was 16, a year before this, he had also been charged, and he had a bail set at that point. And now, so for people that are a bit confused on what bail is exactly, this is in the UK, so it might be a little bit different than in my country, America. I'm sure there are some similarities, but I'll tell you, in my country, in America, generally when somebody gets arrested, they are brought before an arraignment court. You know, they're held in jail, but until they're arrested and charged with whatever crime that they're charged with, and eventually they make their way to arraignment court. Now, at arraignment court, this is not the actual court where their sentence is going to be decided. Arraignment court is there's going to be a judge there, the defendant is going to be there, and the defendant will be there most likely with their lawyer if they choose to have a lawyer with them. And what the arraignment court basically does, the arraignment court, the courts have to figure out what to do with that person leading up to their trial. So the courts generally have three options, and the first option is releasing the person based on personal recognition. And basically what this means is that generally this is for somebody who has not committed crimes before, or does not have a record. Somebody who has a clean record, and this is like, you know, their first offense. Generally it's for people that have their first offense, and generally for crimes that are not very serious. But how this basically works is the court will say, okay, you know, this is your first offense. You have not committed any other crimes before this. Here is, you know, your information. You are to appear in court on this date here. Please return to court on this date. If they don't return to court on that day, then there's a warrant out for their arrest, and then there's going to be massive problems. But they don't have to put any kind of money up. Now, bail is basically where the defendant, the person that's being charged, has to give out a specific amount of cash to the court. And this cash is determined by the severity of the crime, and that money the defendant gets back. So it's usually a good chunk of money, and the defendant gets it back for returning to court. It's made to be an incentive for the defendant to return to court. And bail bondsmen, those are people that are specifically will give out loans to people to be able to pay up their bail. And that's why when, you know, people, at least in my country, in America, we have bail bondsmen, it's actually, ironically, there's actually GTA missions regarding that in GTA 5 with Trevor. But basically, if the person does not pay back the bail bondsman generally has the power to arrest that person and to try to get their money back. But anyways, you know, skipping over all of that, you know, this kid had gotten bail, and that's the second thing. The third option that the court has the option to imprison the person until their trial. Usually this is done for people that they cannot put cash bail, and the court does not trust that person. They think that person might try to skip town or might not show up to court, or it's for somebody that has a big record. Even if that person has you know, money, the court might still hold them in jail until their trial, because there's a chance that person might commit crimes in between then, or they might skip town. And so the reason that this kid had gotten bail is because this kid has a record. He has hacked into Microsoft and also apparently into Uber. And one of the bail conditions here, it says here, as per Bloomberg law, prosecutor Valerie Benjamin said in court that the teen had used a mobile phone, which he didn't have permission to hack companies and was holding them to ransom to gain access to software. The case has since been referred to a higher court. So this kid had posted bail. He posted bail, and he was told to return to court. And from everything that I've read here, it appears that this kid was making his court appearances, but he did violate bail condition. Now, bail conditions, these are specific terms. So just because the person puts up money, that's not the only thing. That's not the only term that they have. The courts, the courts might ban people from doing certain things. So courts might say, okay, you put up your bail, but you are not allowed to have contact with a specific person, somebody usually involved in the crime. So you might not be able to contact a specific person. You might not be able to talk to this person. You might not be able to go to a specific place. For like maybe somebody involved in like a drunk driving incident, the court might say in the bail conditions, you cannot drink until your court date or something along those lines. Usually conditions set to match the crime. And this kid's bail condition was that he was not allowed to have a mobile phone. Now, the reason that he wasn't allowed to have that mobile phone is because he's apparently been using that mobile phone to hack into people. So this makes sense. You know, for somebody that's charged with like a hacking crime, the court might say no computer access, no internet access, or no phone access until your next court date, and they might give them a paper, tell them do not lose this, because then the person might say, oh, I need to look up my court date online or something like that. This is an excuse to be able to use the internet. So that is just, you know, explaining the whole bail system right there for people that are just a little bit confused on that. But, you know, reading through this, it says the suspect is believed to be part of a hacking group, Lapsus, and behind the recent gargantuan leak of Grand Theft Auto 6 details, including almost an hour of work-in-progress development, footage, images, and artwork. Rockstar has only commented to confirm it suffered a network intrusion, which has led to the leaked information being taken from its server. So, network intrusion, that's kind of a way to say, it's kind of a more straightforward way of saying it, I would say. Yeah, probably is. Like, if it's network intrusion, I would say, sounds a lot better than saying that you got hacked, which is pretty much, you could argue it's pretty much the same thing. The GTA maker said it was extremely disappointed, but that there will be no long-term effect. Notice how it says long-term effect, but what could the short-term effects be? No live services such as Grand Theft Auto Online were interrupted. Obviously, you know, GTA Online services are not going to be interrupted because somebody hacked and got GTA 6, footage. That's not going to affect it at all. However, though, it's like I said, like, you know, Rockstar says that there's not going to be any delays for the next GTA game. However, though, my belief is that there probably is going to be, because again, remember, they have not announced the release date. They might have a release date in the back of their minds, but now because of this, they might push this back and they might say, oh, you know, this is the release date when they actually had an earlier release date. At least that's the way that I feel about it. As for the suspect, it isn't the first time they have been in trouble with the law. Back in March, BBC News reported on the individual, then just 16 years old, under the headline, Oxford teen accused of being multi-million cyber criminal. The teen was one of several arrested under suspicion of hacking other high-profile companies, such as Microsoft, before bragging about it online. In a separate investigation into the hacking group's breach of Uber, several members are now being investigated by the FBI. So, basically, this is like, you know, a very strange case. You have like, one of the richest video game developers out there being hacked by this group Lapsus, if I'm saying that correctly, pronouncing that correctly, and their footage being leaked online. And now this is going between two countries, between the United States and the United Kingdom. And the FBI, America's federal police, are involved in this as well. But what I will say is that this kid, I don't think has any chance of getting like a not guilty verdict. I don't think he has any chance of being acquitted in this case. I think he is pretty much going to be guilty of this. You know, Take-Two Interactive is going to probably do everything in their power to have this person prosecuted. They're going to follow this trial closely. They're going to try to bring as much evidence as they can to the courts on this person. And for people wondering why there isn't that much information out on this person, I was doing a little bit of research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the UK, if somebody under 18 is arrested, there is actually not that much public information about it, where in my country, in America, you constantly hear about people that are much younger than that in the news, and they talk about, their full names and their pictures and everything like that. So that's probably why, we're not hearing that much details about the hacker themselves. But it's like I said, I personally think that this is a group of people that are involved in this, and I'm not really going to talk about this story anymore, guys, unless there's any kind of new information. If there's any more new information, then I'll talk about it, but this is probably the last time I'm talking about it, at least until something new pops up. But like I said, I personally think that this is a group of people that are involved in this. I don't think this is just one person, this one 17-year-old. I honestly think this is a group of people. If they hacked into a company as big as Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive, I don't think this is just one person. I think this is a coordinated group of people, but we're going to have to see what happens. And, at the end here, I will say that I do feel bad for Rockstar in this case. I've seen some comments of people that have been defending this hacker, and I don't understand it personally because this is not good for the game. The game's possibly going to suffer delays, even if Rockstar doesn't say it. We don't know whether that's true or not, but this is definitely not good for the game. This is definitely, not help. The only thing that this has done is this has shown people that Grand Theft Auto 6 exists. But this is definitely not good for Rockstar. This is not good for Take-Two Interactive, not good for the next Grand Theft Auto game. And what I'll say is, I have my issues with Take-Two Interactive. I have my issues with Rockstar. Like, I get pissed off at Rockstar for, a lot of stuff. And when Rockstar does something bad, I'll criticize them. Like, when Rockstar screws over the Red Dead Online community and treats the Red Dead Online community like garbage, I'll talk about that. I'm pissed about that, and a lot of players are. When Rockstar does something good, I'll praise them. But, in this case, I don't think that this is right. This person broke the law, hacked into Rockstar. And, for the people that hate on Rockstar, I dislike Rockstar. I've lost a lot of faith in them over the years. But what I will say is, a lot of the greedy decisions that you see around there, like GTA Plus, Red Dead Online being abandoned, the state of the GTA Definitive Edition, like these really greedy, bad decisions, these decisions aren't made by the average developer. Do you honestly think the average developer, the average guy or girl that helps make GTA Online and Red Dead Online updates, do you think they have control over whether Red Dead Online has updates or not? No, I'm sure there's people that want to make Red Dead Online updates, and I'm sure there's people that actually want to fix the GTA Definitive Edition, but the people that make these decisions are the people at the top. The people at the top. You have the corporate people, you have the CEOs, the people at the top in Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar. The average Rockstar developer has no control over whether Red Dead Online gets canceled and all of those other things. And I'm sure there's people, like I said, that want to work on these projects, and I do feel bad for those people. Imagine, you're just an average Rockstar developer, not the boss or anything, and you've been helping to work on Grand Theft Auto 6 for such a long time, for many years. You've been putting a lot of work into it. You've been spending countless nights working on this project, and you're getting excited for the day that you finally get to reveal it to your fans, and then all of a sudden, you have this scumbag that just hacks into it and just leaks all this stuff out there. It's not right, like I said. And it's, like I said, I have my problems with Rockstar, but this is illegal, what this guy did, and this is wrong, and I feel bad for the average developers, and I hope that this hacker does get prosecuted, and I think, like I said, I don't think that there's any chance that this guy has being acquitted. I don't know why he's pleading not guilty. Maybe the charges that he's facing are so grave that he's just trying to risk it at trial. But generally, people will plead, if the cards are stacked against them, they'll generally plead guilty to try to get a lesser charge and get the trial over with. But we're going to have to see what happens, and this trial is probably going to go on for years. This is not something that's going to end within the next few weeks. This is probably going to go on for years, this trial of this kid. And this trial might even go on when GTA 6 still gets released. It still might be going on. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.